Sup shoobs, I'm Gravy Fries, and yeah, this is the video I've been telling you about. It drove me almost insane. I'm very tired and I have worked my butt off for this. I hope you appreciate it. Anyway, without further ado, my ideas for Epithet Erased Season 2. So it starts out with Phonica and Trixie talking to a doctor over the phone, asking what to do and hang up sadly, now confused as to what to do with the strange man they found on the beach. Molly suggested taking him to a doctor a few days back, but they refused to take him because there's no identification. They ask Molly if maybe he could stay at her house, but she dodges the question and says she has to leave because toy store stuff? Strange behavior aside, they were at a loss as to what to do with him, although he does keep mentioning something about an aquarium. Anyway, it cuts to Sylvie, who has been tirelessly looking for the amulet since the museum arc. The nurse keeps telling him to stop and rest, that it's only going to make him sick, and that all this movement will surely open the wounds back up. He looks at her puzzled, and states that he hasn't moved in weeks, and had all his research brung to him. But the nurse insists she's seeing him on the security cameras every night, and running around as if he's frantically searching for something. Sylvie doesn't respond at first, but recollects himself and says that he sometimes sleepwalks, and that it's fine. Once she leaves, he continues to hunt for any information on Redwood, as he only had the news to watch, which came in handy, as they had just recently discussed a cop searching for it in Redwood, but where exactly, he doesn't know just yet. He continues to search every page on Oobeagle, I don't know, okay? And every news article he finds, but no luck. That is, until he finds a wanted article stating a young man's bounty for any interested parties. He loads it only to come to an image of Giovanni Battage kicking a strange, larger man into a table screaming. He reads it through the rest of the bounty, stating he's wanted for not only stealing the amulet, but also with the bonsai blasters and even attempted assault and kidnapping. While it was both humorous and relieving to see him finally have some sort of consequence for his actions, he partly blames himself for the latter crime, as he truly was just trying to make sure him and Molly didn't get into trouble. But regardless, he knows who to visit once he's checked out, if his parents actually show up this time. It cuts to Molly, who's sewing something in her room, humming quietly to herself. Strangely, a second voice can be heard humming along, until her sister barges in and asks what she's doing. Slightly surprised by the sudden barge in, Molly calms herself and says she's sewing, and for the millionth time, she's not watching the store tonight. She has homework and is tired. Lorelai begs, but again, she refuses. She leaves disappointed, but as she's waiting out the door, she feels something push her even faster, and the door slams loudly behind her. Now angry and a weird stain on her shirt, she huffs and puffs down the stairs. It cuts back to Molly, who hums a quiet code as if signaling that she's gone. The closet door opens, revealing Giovanni, who proudly states that his epithet has gotten strong enough to form small objects like hands that can push whiny brats out of her room for her now. Molly laughs and says thanks before holding up a large shirt that says BBFF, Best Bear Friends Forever, with two small happy bears on it, which causes Giovanni to hold back tears and thank Molly profusely, while remarking his bonsai outfit is getting hard to wear smelling so rank. He goes through a window and runs to the darkest place behind the store. He puts the shirt on, then slips on a jacket, pair of jeans that he snuck out of the house a few days ago, as well as a pair of visors he stole before coming over. Oh, sorry, before hiding out at Molly's. He comes back and asks what to do with his old bonsai outfit, which this conversation ensues.
Do you not want it anymore?
Not really. Turns out those bozos aren't as evil as I thought. Huh. They said you should use your minions to get to the top. Use them? Can you believe that?
No, how terrible. I'm sorry it didn't work out.
It's fine. Besides, I can make my own organization, an own villainous army, with Car Crash, Spike, Crusher, you, and Flamethrower backing me up. Who needs them?
While she still thought it was strange that he called her his minion, she didn't really mind it. To be honest, he had kind of became like a sort of dad to her now. Ever since that night he snuck into the kitchen and asked if he could hide out here, he'd been taking a lot on his plate, saying things like, "I'll do the bills," or "Let's cook something good," "No, put that energy drink down," "Did you have another bad dream?" "Want me to talk quieter?" "I don't want to upset you," "I'll do your homework," "Stop overworking yourself." I mean, yeah, he did it all poorly, but he seemed to was picking it all up very fast. She hated thinking like this, but it was hard not to when Martin hadn't even been in the house in 2 days at this point, and didn't really ever act like a dad much to begin with. Then here came Crazy Potage, doing everything in his power to help her, saying it was his way of thanking her for giving him a place to hide. As for Giovanni, he didn't have any problem listening to other people's problems. or even complaining about them. But for some reason, when talking about his own, he either went completely silent or just flew into an emotional fit, screaming, crying, breaking things, etc. So he never really told anyone about how his moms drive him nuts, how they never stop screaming, how the house is always filled with bottles or cigarettes, how the oils his mom would sell make him sick. There were times he couldn't even get out of bed. He just dealt with it until he felt like he couldn't. Like he was gonna snap. He'd vanish for weeks on end until he thought he could deal with it again, and it was just like that his whole life. Until he got caught in a bar and started hiding at Molly's. That morning, he didn't hear anything except the birds chirping and the occasional car. It honestly scared him at first. He's never heard the sweet sound of silence before. His whole body was braced and ready to be scared by the sudden loud crashing of a bottle against the wall, or someone just to start shouting profanities at the top of their lungs. But it never happened. It stayed quiet. And he loved it. God, did he love it. He loved it so much. It was so much calmer, cleaner, quieter. It's just nicer. It wasn't bad that her dad and sister didn't pay much attention or even stay in the house much either. Not that he liked how they treated Molly, but it did help since it was easy to hide in Molly's closet or behind the store until they left. They helped each other a lot more than they realized.
Alright then, guess we should burn it.
What? Burn it? Why?
If you just throw it away, the cops can check it to track you. That's why I've been burning all your garbage.
I'm so proud of you right now.
Back to Sylvie, who's now acting rather strange. His eyes seem dazed, almost like he's on another planet. He walks towards the Sweet Jazz jail and summons Beefton like nothing, who destroys the prison wall, releasing two in particular, Mira and Indus. The two rush out of the cells and into the outside where Sylvie is waiting on them. Mira asks if he's found the amulet. He says yes, and, well, it's in a toy store. The three discuss their plan, Mira and Sylvie discuss while Indus watches, and start to walk towards Molly's toy store. It cuts to Molly's house where she's sleeping in her room and Giovanni's dozing off in the guest room. Lorelai and Martin are both out cold in the separate room as well. Giovanni finally closes his eyes and lulls his head back. Then he hears a strange noise from downstairs. It's weird how hearing your mom's yell constantly can make you so aware of any noise when it's finally quiet. He got up and started to hit his bat against the floor almost like a clock ticking down until he got to them. If they were going to come to get him for his bounty, whatever, he can handle it. But if they're there for Molly, he's going to make them wish they were dead. He finally gets to the back room, he hits his bat 12 times against the floor, and he's making sure the 13th is someone's head. He opens the door to find half the wall completely destroyed and three figures standing in the wreckage. Mira is about to speak, but is cut off by Giovanni shouting for them to say who they are and what they want. Guess he couldn't recognize them with the masks and, well, how dark the room was. Sylvie says that he wants the amulet, but if it's with Molly, he's more than willing to go see her. Wrong answer. Giovanni swings his back quickly towards Sylvie, but Indus manages to get in front and block the hit, but not without taking a decent bruise.
Ugh. Crap.
He shouts.
Damn. This idiot's tough.
He shakes his hand to try and ease the pain. That man's head felt like he was swinging at a boulder. Indus says it's dishonorable to swing when an opponent isn't ready. Giovanni couldn't care less. He starts to hit the bat against the floor lightly, hoping they won't notice. 1. He asks why they want Molly. Mira says it'd be nice to have her power, but would rather just have the amulet, as then she could just take it and anything else that could help. 2. He laughs and says that sounds familiar, but Mira just shrugs it off. 3. Sylvie asks if he wants to solve this calmly. Giovanni says only if they leave Molly out of it. Sylvie says she's only involved because of the necklace. 4. Confused and angry, Giovanni demands they fix what they broke and leave before it gets ugly. Sylvie refuses. He throws his bat, but Sylvie appears unfazed. Mira starts to summon shards from the floor. Perfect. Giovanni starts to run towards what he assumes is a woman and hit her dead on in the face. 6. Indus runs towards him and on instinct, Giovanni smashes 3 of the shards to try and slow him down. Indus whines about the glass, but he continues his rampage. 7, 8, 9. Giovanni, now tackled to the floor, continues to throw any and every attack he can to get Indus off of him. No good. He starts to panic until Indus asks where Molly is, which suddenly causes a fire to start up in him, and he just repeatedly hits him with the bat. 10, 11, 12, 13. He hits him with the full critical again, and again he just takes it. Although he does seem to be taking some damage, it's not enough to stop him. He doesn't care. He keeps hitting him, yelling they won't get Molly. He won't let them as Mira starts to corner them with the shards, and Sylvie makes his way towards the house. He throws more lava acid at him, which at least seems to injure the younger one more, but Indus wasn't going anywhere until the lights suddenly came on, and the alarm goes off. Crap. One of them tripped the alarm. Sylvie holds his injured head from the burning soup and backs up to run and retreat, but the back wall suddenly starts to collapse even more, covering their one exit. Giovanni laughs through his pain and asks what they're gonna do now. As it's revealed, he managed to grab the handle to set off the alarm while Indus was beating him up. Mira shouts to kill him, to which he responds with a girlish scream. Mira hits him in his side, leaving a gash. He remembers her taking the most damage out of the group. He summons a fog, then starts to throw as much as his low stamina allows, at which she acts as if it's actually lava and starts to scream in pain. He can tell his stamina is almost gone as he feels his knees give out and he hits the floor. Indus, enraged, runs towards him. At least Molly's okay. That's all that matters.